Well, great evening, everyone. I've been watching a movie on Ted Bundy, and he had this long term girlfriend, and she didn't believe any of this. Now, with her, he was just so, so enamored and, you know, gentle with her, and it's crazy. And then he had that other side where he'd be killing all these women. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know how this girl could be taken in by him. He has absolutely the scariest eyes I've ever seen in somebody. You can see that there is just something really off there. It's really a psychosis that's going on. So anyway, while watching this, I thought it would be interesting to do the cards. And what I got was interesting. So I thought, well, I'll just share them. That, in the center, we have the card of temperance. Now, he wasn't temperate. He had he was like a Jekyll and Hyde sort of a guy. With her, he was fine. But then he had this other side. And then I have the other card, which is crossing it, which is the card of the spy. So, he would see these women, and what we have in his past is that he would be just, inundated, tortured, tortured with these things. When he would see it, it would set up this emotion in him that was very tortured. Underneath of it, when he saw this, it's like a switch would flip on him and the magician come out. Would totally turn him into something else. And he was like a magician. He would just be able to con these women. He put the cast on his arm, and he did all these things to in 1 second he seemed okay, and the next second he would be just off. So in one way, he was like a magician, not a magician you'd want to run into. Above it, when he would be resting, sleeping, he would have visions of these cavorting women. Okay. And then we get to the other side. Again, the Ace of Cups. This would fuel his emotions, and he would have this sense of power, of needing to act. Now, this is interesting in this one because it's got the downward triangle. It wasn't to the positive things. In this case, this fueled him to act and react. And again, we had over here what he would see would be torturous for him. Okay. So I thought it was really an interesting reading that when he would see these things, it would flip a switch in his mind. And he was just like really like two different people. He was so needing his girlfriend, and she wouldn't believe, what was being said about him. She just, they finally gave her these things, put some light on it, and it was like, the beginning and the ending of everything, and how she'd been taken in by this guy. Okay. One of the police came over with this whole thing of information, and gave it to her. Okay. So yeah, it was kind of like him holding to her. That was his value, and that was what fueled his happiness, so to speak. But it would never last. It would never last. He would see these other women, and a switch would flip, and he'd go on these killing sprees because he was really a tortured being. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. It was really, that reading came out, and it was just so odd, you know, how these things would trigger him. He would get triggered, and it was like Jekyll and Hyde. It was really like Jekyll and Hyde. What was this? Somebody on one of my sites had said it was her aunt that was dating Ted Bundy. It was her aunt that was dating him. And yeah, she was really taken in by this guy. Like I said, you know, when I see him, I don't know how anybody could be taken in, because he has the absolutely most eyes that when you look at him, he just totally feels psychotic. If I saw him, there was no way I would go up to him. I mean, you can see some guys like that other guy that was so bad, and you look at him, if you look at his eyes, you can see there's really a dark entity behind there, that Night Stalker. What was his name? Ramos? Okay. That's another one. If you look at him, his eyes are very dark, very, yeah, very, very dark, being inside of there. So, yeah, I just thought I would share that with you tonight. Was an interesting read. Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in.